So we had our first snowfall of the season here, just north of Toronto, Canada, and nothing makes me want to bake more than seeing the snowfall outside. What a better thing to make than these warm and chewy ginger molasses cookies. So in a bowl, mix together 3 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour with 1 tablespoon of baking soda, 2½ teaspoons of ground ginger, 1/2 teaspoon of ground black pepper, 1/2 teaspoon of allspice, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves. We're going to whisk to combine and set aside while we get started on our wet ingredients. In a large bowl, combine 1½ cup of packed dark brown sugar with melted room temperature butter on a medium speed until you start seeing the color become slightly pale. We're then going to add 1 egg at a time, mixing them in well after each addition until your mixture is nice and fluffy. One of the reasons why I love these cookies so much is the molasses. The smell and the flavor just reminds me of the bran muffins me and my mom used to make when we were little. They were my favorite. So we're going to add 1/2 cup of molasses, 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And we're going to mix this all together, but we're going to make sure that we don't forget to scrape the sides of the bowl as you go to make sure that everything is incorporated. So with your mixture on low, we're going to start to slowly add the flour mixture. Just take your time, and we're going to do this just until the flour disappears. We don't want to overmix. This dough does get thick and sticky, and my mixer was definitely not having any fun. Now we're going to place this in the fridge to cool for about an hour. This will make it easier to work with while we shape. So I just lined a big Tupperware container with parchment paper, and I sealed it with a lid. So after about an hour, but before we take our cool dough out of the fridge, you'll want to place your oven racks on the upper and lower thirds of the oven, and we're going to preheat it to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So have your demerara sugar ready in a bowl, so once your dough is nice and firm, you can take it out of the fridge and we'll be ready to start shaping. So I'm just going to use a spoon to make balls that are about 1½ inches in diameter. I'm just going to roll them in my hands, and then we'll coat the balls in the sugar and place them on a tray that is lined with parchment paper about 3 inches apart. So this took me 2 batches. So while I was waiting for the oven, I just made sure to place my extra dough in the fridge while I waited. We're going to bake this for about 12 to 14 minutes until the edges are firm, but the center of the cookie stays soft, rotating your trays halfway through. Remove from the oven, and we're going to let this sit for about 10 minutes before moving the cookies to a cooling tray. Nothing beats the sweet and spiciness of these cookies during the winter time. Happy baking. Thanks for watching.